Growing up, we're given a million pieces of advice, and we never really know what's going to stick. I remember when I was a teenager and I was helping my mom with some laundry. We were putting the sheets on the bed. I was on the left side and she was on the right. And as we put the base sheet on the bed, my mother said, "Don't be afraid to take risks, Janine. I never took enough risks." Little did she know that piece of advice was going to stick with me forever. At that moment in time, it was a simple statement, but I took it to heart. That sentence has been replayed in my head over and over. From the moment I heard it, I started taking more risks. In the years that followed, I received a full athletic scholarship to the University of New Hampshire. I was assistant captain of their NCAA Division I ice hockey team, made the dean's list, and graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in business marketing. From there, I went on to play in the National Women's Hockey League, backpacked around Europe, ran 2 half marathons, a full marathon, a sprint triathlon, and I lost 30 pounds in 8 weeks to compete in a bodybuilding figure competition where I took first place. Yeah, woo! If you can't tell, I love sports and competition. It's an epigenetic blessing woven through my DNA. Having the privilege to play, walking into a dedicated arena just for us athletes, the equipment, the sticks, the athletic therapists at our fingertips, the skates are sharpened, the team is all dressed up, and the locker room rituals are underway. A world almost like a secret society that is set up for your ultimate success, and all you need to do is show up and play the game you love. And man, did I love game day. Standing in the tunnel waiting to take the ice, the electric light show, the roar of the fans, the buzzing of the Zamboni, the music, songs like The Rock and The Eye of the Tiger. All I can feel is this excitement to get out and skate. Skate onto the ice, see the crowd, feel my hair flying in the wind behind me, hear the announcer, smile at my friends and family, lock eyes with teammates, and feel the most amazing rush of energy flowing through me. It's game time. 3 periods of end-to-end battle, quick line changes, coaches are yelling, there's constant feedback on your every move. Then there's media interviews, autograph signing, a night of partying, 1 day off, and back at it again. The next day, it's video replay, and we're breaking down the previous game, seeing where we made mistakes and how we can improve. Weight training, dry land training, media training, nutrition guidance, and body fat testing. It was every athlete's dream, and I was so addicted to it. The discipline, the schedules, the drive, the determination, the competition, the goals, the dreams. They gave me purpose and an insatiable appetite for a steady supply of external validation. Just when I thought I had things figured out and had cultivated a long list of successful endeavors, little did I know what the next decade had in store for me. Just like the direction of a hockey game can change in an instant, so did my life. For as long as I can remember, I have always wanted to change the world. And instead, the world changed me. I married the wrong guy twice. We got divorced, filed for bankruptcy, and at the age of 38, I found a lump in my left breast. The biopsy results revealed I had invasive ductal carcinoma, breast cancer. Over the course of 2 years, I underwent 5 surgeries: bilateral mastectomy, 2 reconstruction, salpingo-oophorectomy, and a hysterectomy. I know, it's a lot. In December of 2021, I could barely recognize the girl in the mirror. I honestly was completely disgusted with myself. Where was that girl that athlete, full of drive, consistency, determination. Where was that girl I knew but no longer was? No one would judge me if I gave up. And I almost did. Playing sports at a professional level is truly like wearing a badge of honor. It's my identity. I embody those beliefs and traits in all that I do, inside and outside of the arena. But then there's a transition. And it's not the exact same time for every athlete, but there is always a transition. The extremes that once served me no longer held the same weight. The invincible persona and belief in myself began to fade away. Somewhere alongside all of the achieving as well as adversity, I lost myself. I was clinging to this old version of myself, but my identity was changing. Even though I knew I wasn't that same girl anymore, I missed her. And I didn't know how to bridge the gap and step into this new version of myself. So what did I do? I clung to familiarities of those times of intense training, late nights, extremes, and an all or nothing attitude. Consistent for a month, then not. Consistent for a week, then not. And if I'm being brutally honest, there were periods of too much drinking instead of dealing with what needed to be faced. I was so tired of the broken promises I kept making to myself. I still wasn't doing the work that I knew I needed to do on myself to show up as my best self for myself. I kept resisting doing the very things that I knew would help me. I'd self-sabotage and make excuses until so much time had passed, I was completely disconnected from who I was and who I knew I could be. The ghost of my former self continued to haunt me. Sports carried me through life. It was such a gift. It came effortlessly. It was my superpower until it wasn't. The invaluable source of information that life was dispensing to me through athletics, along with my everyday life lessons, transformed me in ways I never thought possible. Sports taught me drive, determination, discipline, dedication, leadership, teamwork, collaboration. It developed my fighting spirit. It built my stamina, and it expanded my compassion for my teammates and my opponents. It's where I learned to lose with dignity, but it also left me constantly wanting more, never satisfied with an all-or-nothing attitude. Divorce taught me I did exactly what society told me to do. Went to university, got a degree, got married, and got a job. Bankruptcy taught me to listen to my gut and intuition. I knew we should have never opened that second ballet bar studio. I ignored it. I felt the signs, but I ignored it. It was literally like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. And breast cancer? Breast cancer taught me to surrender, rest, and reflect. To slow down and stop trying to force my will on everything. That there is a space that exists where I can be wildly successful and not at the expense of myself. It dawned on me that for 40 years, I have been muscling my way through life. My experience with cancer didn't allow for that same method of healing, and so walking and meditation became my alliances. That girl that I yearned to reconnect with was focused, driven, hardworking, decisive, happy, and most importantly, she was joyful. At this time in my life, I could barely make day-to-day decisions because inside, I was so out of alignment. I could barely get myself out of bed. In order to access myself, I had to disappear. I needed to shut out the noise to reconnect with myself. I removed myself from group chats, hid my social media notifications, and vanished for a while. I knew deep down My voice was screaming to get out. And I knew if I could tap into it, I knew my voice was meant for more if only I could tap into it. Page after page, tears, fears, uncertainties, beliefs, passions, visions for my ideal self. I covered notebooks front to back. In this season of silence, I learned that the most valuable relationship of all is the relationship you cultivate and nurture with yourself. That day-to-day connection allowed me to connect with the many faces of Janine to bring forth my best skill sets no matter what life threw my way. All of us are competitive. It's human nature. Even if you're not an athlete, there is something you love to do more than anything in this world. You lose track of time when you do it, you forget to eat, and the world around you disappears when you're laser focused on your craft. For me, it's ice hockey, writing, competitions, public speaking. There's literally a voice in my head that's constantly always saying, I'll show you. For you, it could be cooking, it could be music, horseback riding, woodworking. There is something in each of us that we love so fiercely, all time stands still when we do it. We feel alive and have a sense of purpose. We also feel at a loss when we no longer do those things. Whether by choice or life happens, injury, retirement, or unforeseen circumstances that forces you to hang up the jersey. The journey back to ourselves happens in stillness and the quiet moments of reflection when you receive a deeper understanding of who you are. Inner healing, a knowing. When we do those things daily, such as meditation, journaling, daily movement, and getting out in nature, we are ready to take on the world. We can tackle challenges that come our way. We remain solution-focused, and we can give space to hold another in need because we are aligned with our truest selves. We have filled our cup so others get our overflow. It's the only way to bridge the gap and honor the space between no longer and not yet. The journey from who we are today to who we wish to be as individuals and as contributing citizens of the world lies within this heart work. That's when it dawned on me. Life's currency isn't what we typically think it is or hear about, the need for more time or more money. Life's true currency is showing up. Magic happens when you pursue your goals and dreams. Life shows up for you because you show up for it. Magic happens when you stop treating your body like a garbage can. Your body shows up for you when you learn to take care of it and you nourish it. Magic happens when you're kind to others and treat them with care and compassion. People show up for you because you show up for them. Magic happens when you challenge yourself to learn new skill sets and new ways of thinking. The world shows up differently when you learn to understand it and yourself more deeply. Where in your life could you invest more time or energy so that you can wake up with a sense of calm, connection, and peacefulness, full of passion and purpose? And when you feel lost or stuck, and trust me, at some point you will, don't be afraid to disappear, to take off the uniform. Trust that transformation is an inside job and that part of you will always exist. Once an athlete, always an athlete. You've got what you need. Just keep showing up. Thank you.